I'm not sure how long this will take, but might as well get going with the timer and such, you know. So yeah, this is a kind of tutorial for any percent normal and some stuff that wasn't previously covered in Drifter's tutorial. So there's going to be some strats in here that aren't really publicly known too well or haven't been expanded on. There's some new strats, there's some RNG explanation, frame rules, stuff like that. So I have a lot of stuff to go over. Hey Stormy. Yeah. Well, I got record yesterday. I got a 1303. So yeah. So yeah, first thing I should talk about even before going into the game is that this game has non-uniform RNG distribution. So there's not going to be any set number. There's not going to be any set percentage for something happening. So let's say stage 5. So I'll load up the stage 5 state real quick. Just give me 1 second. You're supposed to see my mouse. It'll make sense later. Yeah, okay. So stage 5. So when you'd normally kill something, it would have a 25% chance of dropping an item, right? So it's not actually 25. It's about 25, but you can't really completely say with total confidence that it is going to be 25 because it's random and it's not uniform, so it could be like 27 or something. So you could have a lower chance of getting it on a run. So 25% is not really 25%. So yeah. There's also some hitbox stuff that I should go over. So I will load up the Lua script. Yes, simulated randomness. So it goes through a bunch of assembly instructions, which is the code for the SNES, to determine the next RNG value, and it gets crazy numbers by doing this. So they're completely unpredictable. You can't manipulate any of the RNG in this game really. Or you've tried, but it just can't really be done. So, let's see, what state is this? So yeah, hitboxes are a little bit weird in this game. The first thing I should point out is this. This looks stupid, doesn't it? So yeah, your hitbox when you're hanging onto something is completely concentrated in this little blue box here. Blue means you're vulnerable, yellow means you're not. So when you're climbing on something, this is most useful in like stage 1 during the volcano section. You're gonna notice that if a fireball hits you, thanks for the host, Linka. If a fireball hits you around like here, but you jump out of the way, you're not gonna get killed. It's only if it collides with this area in between your body and your actual like leg section. But it also it's constant, but the animation changes, so it's kind of weird. So when you're standing still, it's like that, but if you're moving, then it's on your leg. It's like that. You can expect it to be on your left leg right here. No, it's not your right leg. This is your right leg. How's your stream, Linka? Okay, so got that a bit out of the way. Hitboxes otherwise are pretty much self-explanatory. They're pretty normal. Most enemies are pretty okay, I'd say. The next thing I want to go over is frame rules. So let's find a good way to do this. So let's say it should be the start of stage 1. Yeah, so we'll save a state here real quick. I'll just go through it for a second. Just give me 1 minute. Probably a little bit more than that, but you know. I'm not running at 60 FPS, that's odd. Why is it so dang slow, dude? It's probably because I'm running 2 instances. Okay, so, yeah, the first thing, this is a good spot to be on right now. Let me just kill this guy. Okay, so the walls in stage 1 operate on frame rules. So if you kill this, every 16 frames it will move on to the next phase. So like let's say you go into the stage immediately. You do the beginning part as fast as possible, mashing perfectly. So you get to this spot at let's say 30 seconds flat, for example. You could theoretically get there about 10 frames later. So let's say you accidentally like stop like this or something. You have to slow down to dodge something. You can still make it out at the exact same time. The wall will transition at the same time. So you just have to make sure you're in there within that 16 frame window. So you have about a quarter of a second of leeway. I don't really have much else to say other than that, but boss fade outs on every stage tend to vary. I hate the bus analogy. It's so overused, but at least it works. That's good, I guess. Um, but yeah, so I have it written down here. So the wall transitions happen every 16 frames. I'm not actually sure if it's a global or local timer, but it seems to be local, like when you're starting the game. The boss fade out in stage one happens every 8 frames. So you can only lose time in increments of 8 frames. Stage two, both transitions for the arrow blinking to transition into the boss fight, and yeah, for stage two and stage five, both overheads, the all the transitions for that stage happen in 4 frame intervals. Uh, Stage 3, the boss fade out happens every 8 frames. Stage 4, the boss fade out also happens every 8 frames. And then for Stage 6, there are no frame rules that we know of. So there's nothing global. It is all up to RNG and execution. There's no global timer that you have to worry about, which is nice and not so nice. I need to figure out how the heck I'm gonna reduce all this crap lag, because this is not good. I think why it's happening is because I have this here. That's showing frame count, but I can also just like say what the frame count is, so I'm gonna remove that. Yeah, I'll just do that. See if it functions a little better. Yeah, that seemed to be it. Okay. Let me just test this real quick. Yeah, we're running at a solid 60 now. Okay, cool. So let's get started on the actual things that I want to cover. So I have these all in chronological order. So we're going to cover stage 1 through stage 6, just different things to point out. So the first thing I want to do is the first green wall is pretty much self-explanatory. The main thing you're going to want to focus on is the... Did I do that wrong? I loaded the wrong state. Hold on. This is kind of improvised. Yeah, so we got the tank right here, okay? So there's an audio and a visual cue for when to shoot here. So if you're going to use a visual cue, what you're going to want to do is shoot around, like, shoot, is it here? No, that was probably a little bit, I forgot the timing, actually. I'd know when I did it. I think I'm a little bit behind the time, actually. So yeah, the timing for when you're going to want to shoot is, let's see. So when you're about halfway through this little bar in the back, if you can see that. I'm not sure if I can toggle layers or not. But yeah, this little curved bar in the back, you're gonna want to be about halfway. So like you see this, you're gonna want to be with the tip of the cannon. You're gonna want to be about halfway through, and then on the triumphant note of the music, you can also use that as a way to do it. So let me start from the beginning and demonstrate this. Okay, so blah blah blah. I just do my typical strat. So I jump up here instead. You can go on the ground, it doesn't really matter. Something else I should point out actually is that this tower's a little bit interesting. So it's been pointed out a lot that you can lose a lot of time by shooting this tower, but that's only true if you shoot after the explosion happens. So what I do is I shoot 2 shots at the red guy, and then I don't really shoot anymore. And it usually works for me pretty well. Yeah, so I'm gonna do like 2 shots. It doesn't lag that much. How many frames did I lag? I lagged 6 frames, that's it. That one's lagged 0 frames. So you can do that, but if you were to do like this, you'd lose literally 20 frames there. Actually, no, yeah, that was 20 frames. So you have to be a little bit careful about there. And shoot as little as possible. I tend to do 2 bursts of shots to kill the dog. It's like that. Works for me pretty well. Jarza, you're asking all these questions like a YouTube commenter. What the heck, man? Okay, so yeah. I'm gonna go up here. Hey, Jack. Thanks. Yeah, so wait for the note. Actually, I guess I lost. I didn't get the frame rule. Let's see. That note. Boom. The sustained one. That's the frame where you wanna shoot, assuming you get the good pattern, or assuming you get the good stuff. But you can use a visual cue and shoot about halfway through there, and it works. So there you go. There's that. I hope that helped somewhat. So next thing I have is the volcano jumps. So this one's relatively easy. So on the last explosion here is when I tend to jump. So now, and then what you can do after that is you jump and you can just start moving left. Moving right. What am I talking about? Moving right and just keep going. So it tends to work pretty well. You gotta linger in the air for a little bit and then start moving. It is timing based, but I find it better than the six jump method from when the helicopter like first comes on screen. I do not like that strategy because it's so prone to being messed up. Because you literally have to do 6 jumps and hope they're timed right, and then jump over to get the good pattern. It's just I don't like it personally. You can go for it; it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's my thought on it. All right, so what's next? The next thing is stage 2. All right. So yeah, I should do the stage 2 select. Actually, that would be better. Yeah, so when you load this stage, you're going to have a 50-50 chance of getting a certain pattern on the 3rd manhole. So I'll just do the normal strat here. I believe this was covered in the tutorial, so I'm not going to go over it. Okay, so with this guy, there's going to be a 50% chance that he does this kind of cycling pattern like this. So if you get this pattern, you have to duck. You just have to. You have to duck and shoot. And then hopefully you can actually stand up. If you shoot early enough, you can stand up before he fires these few shots and keep going. But if you're slow enough, he will shoot these shots, and then you get back up and you might die. It's highly likely. I didn't die that time, but it is very, very possible. So let me just do that again. There's a showcase effect. You never get what you want to happen. Okay, so yeah. Boom, he does the long pattern, but if you shoot fast enough, you can get past on the second one. It's really just how good is your reaction time on this one, because you just have to see whether he's going to shoot or not. Hey, Space Ghost, how are you? Yeah, so it was about 1.6 seconds, not 1.4. I retimed it. But yeah, it's just gonna be you're gonna have to react quickly to see if he does the good pattern or the bad pattern. I'll see if I can actually get the good pattern or not. Let me see if I go to the boss fight. you know, my fast forward doesn't speed up at all, which sucks. That's a really good point. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I will cover that in 1 second. Maybe it's set the same seed, actually. That's odd. I could manually, like, alter the RNG with a, RAM watch. We'll see if I get it anyways. Nah, I got the same pattern. Either way, it's noticeable in my PB. You'll see the different way. You'll see the different pattern. But the collapsing sections, thank you for bringing that up. That's very important. This is normal mode, yes. So, during the entirety of... That is exactly right. So yeah, during the entirety of stages 2 and 5, you're gonna want to walk diagonal as much as you can. So you move about 1.4 times faster. Thanks, Pythagoras. You move a little bit faster, like 40% faster, moving this way, and that allows you to get across these collapsing sections. If you were to face fully forward, you have a really low chance of making it through. See, like, sometimes it happens. It seemed to work for me when I'm walking backwards, but this time, you know, it just didn't. But if I rewind, instead of loading state, because that's preferable. Yeah, okay, so if I put myself on the diagonal here, so that's about like 45, up and left, you'll always make it across. It doesn't have to be 45, it can be like a slight angle, and it'll still work. That works too. It's just a matter of moving slightly faster than the bridge can catch you. I'm gonna see if I can get it to kill me. It's any diagonal. See, anything works. You just have to be not moving completely straight. I think the way it works is like it's detecting you on the other side of the platform by the time the entire platform collapses. Then it's just like, this, I go back here to reduce lag in case one of these guys spawns, but that's me. Do a 180 mash, and hopefully you'll get the fast kill. So there you go. So that's stage 1 and stage 2 covered. Now we're going to go on to stage 3, which is very important. So this stage has a lot of the time save. Let's see. First is Shack Tool. Okay, so this fight, I have a lot to explain about this fight. Okay, so this might take a little bit. I just want you to know that. Strap in. So on any given cycle, I define a cycle as when he's moving towards you. So like, that would be a cycle. Like, he's moved past his normal, like, bobbing location. So there's a 25% chance for him to do any of these patterns. So he can do kind of a shy pattern, like that. Perfect timing. He can do the pattern where he barely opens up at all. You know what? I can actually open the RAM watch and manipulate this to show it better. So I'm going to do that. Should be E8. So let's freeze the address. So yeah, that one's going to be always a charging pattern, I think. Yeah, so he actually can't do this double bash on the first cycle, but he can do it on all the subsequent ones. So yeah, he's doing that. He's just chilling, kind of. Let's poke the address, make it something a little different. So it all depends on what RNG you get. So yeah, they're kind of interchangeable, but it's not possible to get 2 bashes on the first cycle. I have to make sure that's known. So you basically have a 50% chance of him doing that instead. Let's see, 82 should change this a bit. Hopefully. Yep, okay, so that's his shy-ish pattern. And then next up, I should be able to change this to 84, and we should get the shyest pattern, or the pattern where he's just like, he doesn't want to say hi. Yeah, so you get that. You can get a few shots in, but not many. Just like with this start, you want to get some shots in. So like I got a few shots in there. That's it. Sometimes he just doesn't open up at all. So be mindful of that. He almost always opens up though. Bounces off once, twice, or not at all with a shy pattern. Not quite. A shy pattern is like a shy pattern is him not touching the wall. So he comes close to you like this, but he never gets you. So he'll never touch me. Box is too far, man. So the cool thing about this pattern, this is the first thing to cover, is with this 25% pattern, you can get a 1 round. So let me just show that real quick. It is RNG dependent. That was 4. I haven't mashed it all today, so I'm kind of off. Forgive me, please. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that pattern saves 2.5 seconds over the normal kill. And I will, let me unfreeze the address. I will do the normal kill right now. Okay, he gave me a bad pattern there, but he can double bounce here and give me that pattern, which is nice. So yeah, that pattern is 2.5 seconds slower. So not good, but it's better than taking the 25% chance I've found, because resetting pretty much 80%, 80 to 85% of your runs there, because it's really not 75. You gotta rely on good RNG from your crush shots too, and just being able to mash right, etc., etc. So yeah, resetting like 85% of your runs that make it to stage 3 is not fun and is really taxing. So I've just started going for the 2-round strat. But there's one more. There's one more that's rather viable. I'll pull it off. And then I will explain how to do it. Okay, so this pattern, or this kill, allows you to get a 1 round with 3 of the 4 patterns. So it has a 75% chance of working based on pure patterns, but the actual RNG to get the shots in and kill him properly is much lower. I'd say it's about like 50% when you account for that. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. Margin of like 10% there, I'd say. But it's still way better. It's way better than the chances of that shy kill, that 25% chance. But this is still faster despite the nuke. It only saves about a second to a second and a half over the 2-round strat, but it is still faster. I just stopped going for it because I was losing consistency for it for some reason. So the main way you're going to want to set this up is, I believe this was talked about in the tutorial, but when he's about here, you can start shooting shots, and they'll hit him when he gets back here. So he's at 160 health normally. Let's see how much damage he took. He took like 8 damage there, but he can take up to like 32, which is really nice. So it just depends on how well you time it. What's your RNG? So that one was 148. So that did a decent amount of damage. Not that much, but it was decent. It's enough to get you ahead a little bit. Okay, so that's first, and then my little cue for when I should lay the nuke is when he bounces all the way back. So I lay the nuke around here. So when he's as far back as possible, that's when I lay it. And then I drop down using B. I just drop off and reattach lower down. I angle up using R and just fire shots into him. You're gonna get a better chance of a kill if you get the hostile pattern where he smashes the wall. But if you get the pattern where he's kind of shy, the 25% pattern, it still works, but it is a little bit harder to pull off. So I'll try that a few times. So lay the bomb now. So you can't get it there. I've noticed that I get that pattern a lot with it, which is weird. So yeah, I got it there with the shy pattern, but the shots do have to be a little bit more precise. So I've found it's much better to drop down instead of doing this, because if you get that short pattern, it can potentially screw you. So let's see if I can show why. Just give me 1 second. Because you're not low enough down to deal all the damage you need to deal. This works, but it just doesn't feel as consistent to me. Come on, game. Yeah, it's okay. It's not cooperating right now. It just doesn't work as well for me. For whatever reason. I don't know why, but yeah. Let me know if there's anything you want me to clear up about that section. It was rather long, to be honest, but there's a lot to cover with that boss. Also, shooting here is a terrible idea. With 3 shots, you can lag the game 30 frames. Then you're just going to want to climb this wall as fast as possible. And we will cover the CL back up right now. Okay, so if you get a bad kill in any way, what's the secret to climbing that wall? I can go over the input sequence if you want me to. So I'll start shooting late on purpose. So you die there, but you still get the 2 round. What are you going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to climb up this wall. You're going to shoot diagonally and grab this. So the next boss, the UFO, or Garth base for Louis, is technically possible to do a 2 round with. I'm not sure if a 1 round's possible, but this is completely recoverable. At least for the most part. Yeah, so see, easy 2 round there. And then on the inside's the harder part, honestly. Like this little gate here also takes more time to kill, but then you have to worry about slowing down for that C there, which you have to kind of precisely hit. It's not too fun, but it does work as a backup. You'll lose about like maybe a second on average if you die there, maybe a bit more. But it's better than resetting, I guess, because you can still be ahead by the end if you do this section perfectly. I'm not sure if I'll cover this because I feel like it was covered well enough, and it's just annoying. So yeah, I'll go over the my sequence for. See, like I would get stuff like that. Like I don't kill it, and then that turns out to be way slower. Okay. Hey, you stop that. I'm gonna nuke here. Okay. So the input sequence you're gonna want to do is you're going to do up, jump, right. Up, jump, right. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over until you can scale it really fast. So jumping by itself won't do anything, so you have to be ascending first in order to get that. Right reattaches you to the wall, and then you just want to do this 3 input sequence as fast as you can in a row. Yes. Just make sure you're not too far on the diagonal, because if you're too close, if you're holding R at all, you cannot jump. So it has to be holding only up. And this is way faster than regular climbing, if you can do it right. So that one was good. That one was a good one. That saved, like, I don't know, like a second over just regular climbing. Yeah, okay, gotcha. This feels like a tight jump, but I've never really failed it. I'm not sure where you fall, though. Okay, you fall further than I expected. Now I gotta see where this is. Yeah, this isn't a very tight jump, apparently. You have a rather big window to make it. So you could start from, like, back here and easily make it. Maybe, like, back here. Yeah, definitely. That's where you won't make it. You just want to be close enough to the edge. Maybe your foot's touching, um, maybe your foot's parallel with the edge of this. Then you'll make the jump always, pretty much. Okay. So that's the CL backup. Now I want to go over the... What did I just do? I did something stupid. I'm going to go over the UFO fight, or Garth Base is his canon name. So he'll shoot some rockets here. I tend to stand on the left here just because it's easier to start the fight, for me at least. I just like doing it over here. I think Hanage does it over here, but it doesn't really matter. You won't lose time either way as long as you do it right. So he has 72 HP. You can't see it right now. Crush shots deal 4 per explosion. So what you want to do is, optimally, you'd get a 1 round here. So that would be with really fast mashing and with really good RNG from the crush shots. A 2 round is very, very typical. So getting a 1 round's kind of like, it's kind of just like a, ooh, I did it type thing. It only saves about 10 to 30 frames if you get it. So it's not really that big of a deal. So yeah, that's what a typical round would look like. I'll see if I can get a 1 round. You'll know when it's the 1 round too. Almost. There we go. That was a slow 1 round. That'd probably only save like 10 frames. That was also slow. But it's just remembering the timing very well. That one was an okay one. It could have been better. This is also possible to do from the right side of the screen. I wouldn't recommend it as much. With Dopplering, some of the shots land behind on top, and you don't want to do that. Sure, it might work, but you're losing some of the damage that you'd be dealing. Can work, though. I wouldn't say it's ultra consistent. Yeah, see, he has 4 health right now. One other thing I should mention, if I can kind of get the proper damage. Oh, he has 4. Come on. Okay, so you can get bosses in this game to 0 health and they won't die. So what actually kills them is their HP being pushed negative. So, okay, he has 0 health right now. Any damage will kill him. Anything. You could use a homing shot. Homing does like 1 damage per hit. It would work. He has 0 health right now. There is no HP indicator. So all you gotta do is... yeah, pop him once. That's it. So that's a rather large source of frustration for me, is getting close to a kill and then finding out that he was at 0 health, because you can hear that he's not taking damage. He just explodes at the end, because you have that signature like metallic explosion sound, right? You have that sound. You have that normal sound. But with a 0 kill, you won't have that notification. It just didn't happen. You just didn't hear anything. So, there you go. What do you use for damage indication? What do you mean? You mean like what I'm using to get the health live right now? How do you know HP? So there's this Lua script for this game that shows hitboxes of players and enemies along with health. Health of all the enemies. So I know this guy is going to have 72 HP just because I can see it off to the side of the screen, because I'm obscuring a little bit of the HUD to, or like some of the BizHawk HUD to just make it easier to look at, kind of. If that helps. So I can just see it off to the side. I can also see frame count, FPS, and lag frames. So that's going to be like a normal kill. You can do from here, but it's rather inconsistent for me and tends to be pretty slow. So there it barely worked. He had 20 health left there. You also have to worry much more about shooting it at a good time. I just feel like it's harder to time. So there was rather slow. Okay, you got something like that. Just make sure to dodge those guys. Actually, you know what? Another visual indicator. Let me... Oh, okay. That wasn't even planned, but that was the perfect kill. That would save 30 frames or so over a typical 2-round kill. So that was perfect. So my indicator to start shooting up here is a little bit after this bottom thing has left the screen. So you can see like the top of its like this top arm. I wait for it to leave the screen a bit. So like, let's see how much. Right about now, and then I start shooting. Maybe a bit longer. Start now. And then that'll hit the barrier. You just want to go through here, spam shots, open up the door. And then you've got this, which isn't fun. Okay, so I believe this was already explained in Drifter's tutorial how to do this jump. But what you want to do is you want to be really close to the edge. Like, just in case it wasn't, you want to be really close to the edge of this thing. Like, really close. That won't work. So you need something like this. So you're like this close or so to the edge of it, and you want to wait until you're basically at the peak. And then you jump and hold right, and you will land on this. So it's about, assuming you have the correct pixel, it's about a 6-frame jump. It seems like it can be anywhere from 4 to 8, depending on your height. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that 6 is a working number because I tested it. So I'm on the platform now. Otherwise, what you'd have to do is... Okay, I'm bad. Hold on. If you miss it by doing like this, you drop off or something. You'd have to wait an extra cycle, and then you'd have to fall on. You have to jump on here, do some extra jumps. So that wastes a decent amount of time. Boss kill is self-explanatory. So yeah, let me demonstrate what's... If I'm too low. So yeah, I'll land on this platform here. Yeah, so I'll land here. What Hanage does to kind of recover himself is he does a jump here and lands on this platform, like this bottom one, and then he goes up to this one, and then he goes up to this one, and then he just does everything normally from there. But you can do a jump from down there to up here to over here to there. But I don't recommend jumping over here because these guys might kill you. So yeah, that's my take on that section. Okay, so that's everything for stage 3. So now, stage 4 stuff. Stage 4, I've come up with a new strat, which I'm very happy about. And then the rest of it's just a couple of visual cues and just knowing when to mash and where to mash. So let's do that. So this is, I believe Drifter called this guy the ballerina. Because, okay, take a look. Like, hold on. He's dancing. How is he not a ballerina or something, you know? Like, look at that. He's gotta be. You can't name him anything else. So this guy has a truckload of HP, I think. Actually, that's interesting. His HP actually does not show on screen with this hitbox viewer. I never noticed that. It shows 4095, but it never goes down. That's really interesting. So the old strat for this was you'd wait for this to scroll off screen, jump twice, shoot like that, then do that type of thing. But that doesn't always work. It's really inconsistent. It's super hard. That one wasn't even properly it. So that one worked. So I'm getting rather lucky with this. Yeah, but it's not worked well for me in the past. I'm just getting it here because I'm... Okay, yeah. You can also die pretty frequently. He doesn't have that much health left, but came up with a better strat. So, this one's a little more improvised in a way. You have to memorize the time that he's going to show up on screen. So I do a jump here, and then I wait for a bit. So you'll wait a bit, and then you'll shoot up from this position. You want to be like, let's say like this is about like the halfway mark of the screen. You want to be a little bit right of that. So like I'm about here. This is about a little over half. Let's say like the back of the bike is halfway. So yeah, I'm like right around here. Then you'd shoot up, and you'd deal a lot of damage that way. So one jump, wait a while, shoot all the shots, and then do the normal strat. But don't shoot too early. Even if you do, it should be still recoverable, but... So there you go. One jump, wait a bit. So you can still die if you don't move far enough. So what I tend to do to kind of negate the chances of that happening is right after I shoot the last shot, I run. I just book it to the left. After I shoot those last 6 shots, I just move. And it tends to not kill me. Like that. So this one's a lot more lenient than the old kill, which I'm really happy about. I'm really glad I discovered this because this could save a lot of runs potentially. This can be applied for only normal mode, I think, unfortunately, because the health amounts are changed in easy and hard. I'm not sure about easy actually. It might work. Hard though, I am pretty sure that this doesn't work, but it's a really good starter for that. I think for hard, depending on the health that it has, you're going to want to do the same thing, but like, I'll intentionally deal less damage. Really? I literally tried to deal less damage. Okay. God. So you'd probably just do like a couple final jumps up there to get him. Like that type of thing. He's not cooperating right now, which is okay. But you wait a little bit for the last part of the guy to go off screen. I can't believe I'm dying. Come on, dude. Then like that. That's what you'd do. After that third segment, you just book it. So there's a okay. I should also explain this. So, right before the helicopter, if you do die for some reason, there is a 50% chance that you can completely recover with absolutely no time lost. If this carrier comes from the left, you're screwed. There's nothing you can save. You might as well reset if you're going for record. I gotta say, because this will always drop an S, always, and you don't want that. You want a C. If it's coming from the right, you've got a C. It's the exact same at the start of this level too. So I can load up the beginning too, just for fun. Do that. So start of the stage. There we go. Yeah. So if it spawns on this side. Okay, so if it spawns on this side, it's going to be an S. But if it spawns on this side, it will be a C. There's unfortunately no way to manipulate this other than shooting random crush shots. Because something I still haven't mentioned somehow is that crush makes the game random. Every crush shot you shoot, every explosion randomizes the RNG. So there's even less ways you can manipulate this. Even if you were to arrive at the same spot on the exact same frame every single time, you'd have to do the exact same amount of crush shots at the exact same frame. So it's really, really hard to manipulate. In fact, it's near impossible. So that's an S. Let's see if I can get a C just by some random shots. Nope, that's an S. Okay. I think if I do no shots, it'll work. That doesn't count as shots because they didn't explode on screen. Yeah, see, there you go. Got the C. So if you were to somehow die during stage 3's boss, which shouldn't happen, if it does, you've got some practicing here. You've got some practicing to do. I will be completely honest, because it's a free fight. At least the actual skeleton, like the Terminator boss fight, as I like to call it, the T-1000. The skull that just comes out of the wall versus the guys that are hanging from the ceiling. Those are different. Those are RNG and stupid and dumb. But that's not what we're covering because that's already covered in the thingy. Acrobat is not going to be covered. That was probably covered in good enough detail before. Stage 4 Ninja. Here we go. Okay, so the common strat here is to line your arm up with this little section here. Yeah, okay. So you line your arm up around like this line. So like any of these few pixels should work as long as you're not like 10 pixels to the left or right or whatever. You want to be aiming towards the bottom of the screen here and shoot two consecutive rounds of shots like this. Okay, don't die. Like that. Okay. So I'll go over the setup for the next part in a bit. But my strategy for lining this up is when I think his name's Jimbo. When Contraband's leg is lined up with this kind of horizontal segment here on this cloud. You have to make sure it's not the cloud below because that will obviously not work. But once the bottom of his right foot is lined up with about here, that's when I start shooting. So I do 2 sets of shots. So let's see, right about now. And it tends to work. Yeah. Also, it doesn't matter when you kill him, really. You have a very large window to kill this guy. Because once the screen stops scrolling upwards, so like right about now, when the screen stops scrolling up, right now when the screen stops scrolling up, that's when you have to kill it by. So if you kill it any time after this, you will be losing time by a slight amount, but you should be able to get it down within like like a 4 or 5 second window. So let's say I don't. Oh god, it's such a long fight. Kill him now, won't lose time. It's the exact same. So you don't really need to worry about that. Fortunately, it's also just like kind of hard to screw up. So yeah. I just, yeah, so you can see the HP values here. So they're normally lingering off screen over here because there's a little black box on the left side that shows the rest of the emulator. It's just black screen. There's no emulation on this side. But I can see like HP values and such. Like the HP is like going a little bit off screen, but I can see it right now. So now we've got the ballerina kill and we've got the visual cue down. So I have 2 more things to cover. Of course, you can always find your own setups for things. That is always welcomed. Do what makes you comfortable. Let's see, stage 4. Yeah, stage 4 boss. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna load this from the Got the freaking wrong save state. Come on. It's a stage 4 ninja. Okay. What about now? You have to make sure that you're not holding down, though. Okay, so yeah, if you're holding down, you'll just drop off. If you're not holding down, though, if you just press regular B for jump, you'll just jump up in the air. Normally, completely normal. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I use kind of a rather lenient cue here, visual-wise, for where I should be standing in order to get the fast turret kill. So you wanna, what am I saying? You wanna? I typically wanna be about like a couple pixels. That's too much. A couple pixels to the left of this. Left of this spot. It can vary though. You can be like completely halfway. Just somewhere in between this spot and this spot will work. You just have to make sure that you're around the middle of it. Like the right side of your arm is around the middle of it. So like I think like probably here would work, but not as well. So what you'd be doing is just like that. So that would probably work. I'm gonna go with this because I'm more accustomed to it. And then you get more visual cues. Okay, so the important part of starting this fight out is you want to make sure you get, you want to make sure you you want to get a good opener for this thing. So you can kill this top turret in about 2 shots like that. That's how you want to do it. Almost swag. How much did it have to go? Not much. Yeah. So the cue I use for this is that this little missile tip has disappeared off screen. Maybe a couple frames earlier than that because you can't time it this precisely real time, of course. So I wait for that to disappear, then I start shooting, and then I move about like halfway like back to around here, and then I wait a completely arbitrary amount of time to start shooting again. So you kind of have to figure out when you're going to shoot because I haven't developed a cue for it. It's just like kind of the way that I do it. I'll do it a few times to kind of do it. So I'm a little far far right here. Not really far right, but like, you know what I mean. Maybe I'll go like a pixel or so. You can also shoot him at the start of there. That's good. This is really just fighting with RNG. You can't get it this consistent. I'm getting this every time because the RNG is normalized from the save state. But the RNG will change. It's also completely up to luck whether you get it or not. That's just kind of the way it is with a lot of the things in this game. And it's frustrating to have to reset. But there are backups for this, of course. What I tend to do if I miss it is like, okay, got a bad start, that's terrible. Kill this bottom one, and then I do one big jump back up to the top. God dang it. Don't kill it. Screw it up. Oh my god. Okay, so I missed it. Kill the bottom one. Do a few shots. Okay, it's not cooperating right now. Okay. So like that. And then you can still hammer a few shots in if you need to. You gotta make sure you're gonna latch onto this top missile though. That's pretty important if you're doing that backup. See, like it was pretty close. This is very close to not making it. Did I wait? What? What am I doing? Oh, that's frame advance. I'm stupid. So you also just like can't attack the boss until the shield's gone. If you get this, if you get that second, hold on. So that's kind of how you want to do it. If you get this guy to spawn, this is terrible. This will end your run immediately. If you get really bad luck. If you're like I am right now, there's no missile on the top, there's no missile on the bottom, or like this missile's about to die in a few frames. Like yeah, it's dead. If this comes at you, you're basically screwed. You have to just kind of hope that you can kill it in time. Using a combination of different things. I mean, I can't actually kill it in I can't actually kill it right here just because I have so much damage to deal. And you'll just kind of die. That's the way it is. If you have a top missile or something that's really nice, you can back up on that, but you might lose like a second over the optimal kill or something, maybe more. It can't be as fast. It will always be a little bit slower if you don't get the second missile working perfectly. And that's just kind of the way this works. This fight's super RNG heavy. It's just so that they can also throw curveballs. I really did not expect that to happen, to be honest. It's not common, but it does happen. It's really not common, though. I should stress that. Mainly, you're going to be working on, killing it. And you can kill it while you're falling down, too. I should also say that. So like that, I just killed it while it was falling down. So that does work. Sometimes that's going to have to be the strat that you end up doing, and that's just the way it is. It does work, though. Yep. Okay, so that's almost it for stage 4. I have one more thing to cover. So, when you do this fast kill, there is an incredibly low chance. You have to have really good reaction. You have to have really good reactions, and you have to go for some stupid stuff. You'd have to do a backwards jump after you hit all the projectiles. So like, even if this missile isn't about to die, you'd have to deal all the damage, and you'd be like super close to the boss's face by now. You'd have to jump back onto a missile that's already there, to conserve your extra C, which really isn't worth it. It can also just be slower because you can't deal enough damage that you'll be like half the screen away from him by the time he's dead. Like you'll be right in front of him as soon as he's dead, and then you'll probably fall off. So if you don't do that, if you go for this fast kill, you've got the option of either saving your left hand or saving your right hand. So they both have kind of ups and downs with them, surprisingly. Right hand C is now my preferred choice because it makes the boss fight in stage 5 a little bit easier, assuming you go for the new route. So I'm not going to cover the old route in stage 5. But left hand C, the only benefit it provides is a faster. What's it called? Faster like manhole 1. So you get to slink off the edge faster, I guess. Okay, so yeah, it's up to you after you watch this part which side you're gonna take. If you're gonna go the new route, you're gonna go the old route. It's up to you. I'll do a quick run through of old route. Okay, that's bad. I'm surprised that guy didn't die. What the heck? What was that? What am I doing, dude? You know what? That's okay. It's only for demonstration purposes. Then you fall off this ledge, and you go here. You get an S. If you don't get a C, you can't do the fast kill. But I have devised a new strategy. So that is about... That's a 25% chance of happening if you get that C. But we've already discussed that this RNG is not uniform, so it's not going to be a 25% chance. It's probably going to be lower, honestly. It's just more likely for you to get anything else, and if you do get it, congratulations, that's awesome, but it's a 25% chance. You're throwing away 3 of your 4 runs that make it to this point every single time, possibly more, depending on just depending on how you execute it too. So that's just kind of the way it is, but we can improve this. I've made a new route that actually, okay, I should say this is a route that was previously known, but it wasn't expanded on. The possibilities of it being as fast and being more efficient weren't looked into until very, very recently, when I did some work on it, and it turns out it's just as fast, but it's a little more RNG dependent in the stage, but at the boss fight it's much less. So you don't need to worry about getting that 25% C drop. Instead, you have about a 5/8 chance of killing the boss in 1 round, which is exactly what we want, because that saves about 3 to 4 seconds, depending on what item you get. So it's super important. So I will go over the new route. So what we're going to do, we're going to start here, we're going to death warp down here, and we're going to crawl along here, we're going to hit this guy, we're going to go all the way through here. We're going to hit this guy almost off screen. We're going to get this guy. We're going to tilt the screen a little bit to get past this barrier. You don't actually need to tilt it, but it makes it more consistent. Then we're going to kill this last guy. So this one, the reason why this route works is because this bunker has a 50% chance of dropping either a laser or a flame. So with... okay, if you're coming into the stage with 1 C, and you're doing a death warp, you're gonna need to get an extra weapon to do a 1 round on the boss. So this has a 25% chance of dropping a C. This has a 50% chance of dropping an L, which are the only possibilities that you can use. So it's about 5/8 when you do the probabilities. No, it's not 75%. It's 25 plus 50. Yeah, so I also have kind of a little bit of like a strategy for checking both of these at once, seeing which one you're gonna grab. If you get the C here, book it. It's way better than L, but L still works in a tight situation. But you're generally gonna be relying on this guy. There's still a chance that you're gonna reset. There's still a 3/8 chance that you're gonna reset. That's just how it is. I've said that like 30 times by now. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do some runs of this segment. Okay, so assume I have like left-hand C only. So I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna switch to the other arm so I don't lose it. I'm gonna rotate backwards. I'm just gonna kind of walk along here, hit that guy almost off screen, go through this passageway, scroll this a bit on screen, do a fast turn, get that. Okay, well that guy spawned in a bad spot, so that's not the point. See, that was an H. 25% chance. Okay, so I got a fuser here. So that's that 37.5% chance that it's just not gonna work. So yeah, I'll try with L again. If you do a slow turn there, you have a pretty high chance to get killed. So you wanna focus on getting a fast turn out of there. And if you don't, you gotta correct it. That ledge is surprisingly lenient to walk across. So you're just gonna be You're gonna be making some very slight adjustments throughout this entire stage. That's a C. Okay. So you'd grab this. You have a very low chance. You have a very small amount of time to grab it. There's your boss kill. That's it. Okay. So if you do it right, this kill is about, or this stage is about as fast as the other route. It might be about a half second slower optimally, but it's still much more consistent. Um, it's a lot harder skill wise, but I'd recommend taking this route if you're learning the game because it opens a lot of runs up to be completed further, and it's just learning the harder strat off the bat is better than just learning the 25% strat. Because the going from the mid right here to here it's less execution based than the reverse, which is the new route. But it's just the RNG doesn't work out as well. Sure, you've got a lot more enemies on your path here trying to screw you over, and you have less movement options. But it's going to help you if you learn this now and learn how to deal with the enemies. It's okay to slow down for a tiny bit to kill one of those orange guys, one of the big orange snakes. Can we just do that again? Doing all these little adjustments. Gotta make sure nothing's in the way. And okay, so I do a little bit of a tilt here. So the old strat would be to actually, I'm not gonna enable invulnerability for this. So the old strat would be, let's see. Okay, so I am exactly like I guess I'm normal to the screen or whatever. But I'm perfectly like perpendicular to these rocks, which is what you want to be if you're gonna go for the little riskier strat. So you have like a couple frame window to get to this spot, assuming you're doing random rotations throughout the level. So what you do is you'd back along here a little bit, nudge up against the rock about like here, and it would push you. It would push you downwards and across here. So like that. You have no chance of falling off unless you go off this edge. But if you're going like this, you can't really die. Maybe that's the word for it. I can't remember. I'm blanking right now. But it's basically like you're perpendicular to the rocks here. They're going vertical, you're going horizontal. You're just sliding across here. It's a rather small window though. Like if I back up like 2 pixels, I'm dead. So you have to make sure that it works. You have to make sure that it works right. But a different method that I discovered was you're at a little more of an angle here. This way, you're tilted right a little bit, and what you do is you kind of shove up against the wall a little bit, and it pushes you downwards naturally. And when you see yourself starting to slip towards the right, like there, I just moved a pixel. So like, bam, I moved right. A couple frames after that, you're going to want to hold upright and you'll make it across. Okay, so yeah, like this, but better. Just give me a second. So it's more reaction time based. You can do it at a bit of a slighter angle to help. Just as long as you're not going this direction, you want to go slightly this direction. I guess it does work, but it's just not as good. So the lesser the angle, the better. It's the lesser the angle, the more reaction time you have to make it through. But I found that to work really nicely for me. In fact, that's what I do in my run. Tilting towards the left is just not good. You have to be very fast with reactions, though. It's a little bit slower this way, but at least it's consistent if you can react well enough. It's more of a lenient window regarding it's more of a lenient window like angle wise, because you have to be at like a in order to go perfectly across, like perfectly perpendicular to the rock, you have to have a perfect angle. With this, you don't need a perfect angle, but you need one that's close enough that's going to work. So something like this is going to work. This is a normal angle that you can achieve just by regularly rotating, pressing L and R. It's completely normal, and it sets you up nicely after this one. You just tilt a little bit right, and it just works. So you do that, you react quickly, and you're in there. Okay, so I'm going to real quick make a save state here. So that's state 5. Okay. So let's assume real quick that you wanna check what both of these guys are gonna be. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is after killing this one on the right, you're gonna wanna go back through here. You're gonna go through here and then tilt a little bit to the left until you can see this spot. So it should be visible on stream. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. So you're gonna want to tilt until you can barely see that spot and whatever was hiding in it before. So you obviously can't see it anymore now because the weapon has depleted itself. But if you're fast enough and you see a C here, you can sprint out here. Okay. Give me a second. I expect that guy to be there for some reason. Come on, dude. You're trolling me so hard. Okay, I literally can't move. I will blame that one on the game. So what's over here? Oh, it's nothing. Okay. So that's kind of the thing you're going to want to do. Go back, tilt this way until you can see it. If there's nothing there, grab this item. If it's an F, you're kind of screwed. If it's not, then you're in luck and you can one around the boss. So it's just objectively harder to do it this way, but it is still possible. So having left hand C makes this. Does this make it easier or harder? Shoot, I can't remember actually. It should make it harder. I think. Hold on. Okay, so I haven't had too much success with doing CL here. Rather, LC has worked for me really nicely. So the crush explosions will be displaced a little bit to the left, more so than you anticipate, I guess. And it just kind of has a lower chance to kill the boss. Because you want all the C shots to hit directly on top of the hitbox, which is rather small. It's just about like his eye size. And the closer the crush shots are to the center, the better. The laser just has to contact. It doesn't really matter as much. So I generally start off like this. Once he starts flashing, then I shoot. So that time it didn't work. That time it almost did. But you also have to worry with this about like going too far. It's just this is RNG dependent. Yeah, okay. That one worked. That was really good RNG. That was a really, really fast kill. I guess you don't need to move to the side at all, but it makes it easier for me. So the reason we switch off of C so quickly is we want there to only be enough time for 3 crush shots to shoot. So we want to get all the crush shots out as fast as we can, and then just so all 3. It takes literally 5 frames to get them all out, and then you switch back to L and start constantly shooting with that. So you want to have C out for as little time as possible, but you want all 3 rockets to be out and dealing damage. So you have like it's just like it's a really tiny tap. So you go like bam, 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 bam. So that's all 3 of them out. That's all you need to do. It's just mainly timing it. See, like that one worked. Also, I don't recommend grabbing L here. The only weapon I would recommend is grabbing S, C, or F. Do not grab L or H. F is a maybe, S is a yes, C is a definitely, because C is better than what you'll get in the next stage for the next boss. Bam, bam. There you go. This won't always work. I gotta go to RNG Seed. But it's working right now. Do I have a... I do have a state. Wait, no, I don't. I have state 9. No, I don't. Okay. That's fine, yeah. So what I tend to do is I go with C instead. Or I go with right-hand C. So that means you have to take a little longer to kill that guy. But I feel like it makes the manholes a little bit easier. Didn't get it, because I was kind of late. So you got an F there. You can kill this on a different frame, I guess. Yeah, there we go. LC. So I'm gonna make a state for this too. This is what I prefer to kill the boss with. It works better for me. I missed a shot initially there, so that wasn't good. There we go. Yeah. If you get a C here, grab it. It will save you time on the next boss fight. Guaranteed. So my cue for when I switch over to C is when I hold L out for a reason. So I make sure that I don't shoot. I don't shoot before he starts flashing, because when he's flashing, he's taking damage. So I wait for him to flash a tiny bit, and then go. If it doesn't work out, you can do that instead. Start with a C, finish him off with the regular shot. It should work. Of course, you'll lose time, but... yeah. The CC kill is obvious. You just have to... with the C grab and right in the middle of the map, you have to be really careful about getting there, because it can just disappear when you're right next to it. And that hasn't happened to me yet. I mean, it won't happen because I'm done with this game, but for now. Yeah. So I'll go through stage 5 a few more times with different either C or your left hand or right hand C. That guy can spawn there, and that will screw you over if you are not paying attention. You need to pay attention during this entire segment. It's kind of difficult to keep track of, but you have to do it. This is the stage that makes or breaks everything. So if you don't get the fast rotate there, if you get a bad spawn, if you get a red guy spawn, they can just murder you instantly. So you got a C there. Excellent. Grab it. Didn't grab it, because there wasn't enough time. So. Bad, bad, bad. So there's actually a pretty big ledge there. There we go. That's how you do that. Didn't get it. Got an F there. That's okay. This is more so just for demonstrating how the route should be done, I guess. I'll do a right hand, actually. It almost looks like copies of the stage ED. So if you get a good spawn on that guy, you can actually slip right through him if you get the fast one. This guy will screw you over. Just saying now. You can't get stuck here. It is possible. In which case you'll have to correct yourself. Move a frame or two backwards. Even though that's not an accurate measurement of distance, but you move at like 2 pixels a frame, so be careful. So I'm normal with the screen, so I could go do this, I guess. Get an L here, please. Thank you. Okay, so do the fight. Yep, there we go. That's how you do it. It doesn't always work, but when it works, it feels amazing, and it's just better than the old route. So there was also a C drop that I could have gotten, but I chose not to, kind of. Just to demonstrate what the L would be like. Now I'll do a left hand, and then we'll move on to the final stuff I have about stage 6. And I have some important stuff. Not too much, but there's a decent amount. You only want to stop moving if there's a red guy on your tail. C drop, don't care. I want the F. Just kidding. So I've noticed if you kind of do this stage perfectly, it seems to kind of give you a higher chance of getting an L or a higher chance of getting a C. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I've kind of experienced. I've gotten it like 3 times in a row using this new route. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it or it's just how the RNG works, but you know, I'll take it, right? So I'll get a CL. I'll try to pull off a boss kill with that. Went a little too fast. You don't want to slow down just in case. I'll still count this as a run that's going. Yeah, okay, so we got CL. Yeah, so I moved a little bit to the right there to make sure that C is more centered. And I just think that works better for me. Whatever works best for you, that's totally fine. It's whatever you decide to do. I just find that this works well for me. You just want to move barely to the right. Just a smidge. You also don't want to be that close. So you want to be rather close, like I'd say about this close. Maybe. And it works. For both ones, it tends to work that way. So sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it does. Don't pick up H here, it'll screw you over, I promise. It's not a good idea. I'll try to get an actual, like, single segment, flawless run here. See, you can slip right past that guy, assuming you get a fast rotate. That's like the only thing that determines whether it happens or not for me. Make sure you're not at too much of an angle, of course. Oops. It's easy to over-rotate, but if you do, you need to correct yourself. It's really hard to do on the fly, but it's just... it makes it way more tight than it needs to be. So I might get killed by this guy. Oh, wait, no, there was none. Thought there was gonna be a red guy. So this is a good angle. An S drop. There's an L. Okay. Ta-da! There you go. It just works. I'll do one more. I'll do one more right hand. Also, this is... I haven't mentioned this yet. This is pretty lenient. What did I get? I gotta see. This is pretty lenient. What you're gonna want to do is after you hit it, you're just gonna want to nudge up against this rock and just press backwards. You'll tend to get over to the edge here, but you have a pretty big window, it seems like. Actually, no, you don't. You have the same window as you do with that one other trick, but this one's just way easier to normalize because you're already facing this direction. As long as you don't rotate at all during the first bunker, you're okay. So you push yourself up against it, and it works. Your rotations don't die there because you practically can't. It was a little pushy there, and I got nervous because of the red guy, Mr. Red Snake. It's just like you gotta kind of push up against the wall there, and it just kind of works really well. So you can also kill it too, or you can get something like this piece of crap. Go forward, pretty close. That one's not going to work. Or it did, okay. Yeah, so there you go. There's stage 5. That took like half an hour to cover, but I think it was worth it. In my opinion, it is the most important stage in the game. There's nothing that tops it for me. That is the most important one. Stage 3 consistency is good, but you need to know everything for stage 5. You gotta react fast, you have to muscle memory your way through it. It takes a lot of practice to get to the level where you can be really, really fast with it. But yeah. Okay. Now on to stage 6. Okay. Okay, so the main thing I have here is my gauntlet setup. This is very, very special and important. Very, 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 very important. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to make a save at the start. So I got 1C right now. On my right hand, that's pretty normal. So just shoot along here. Kill this guy by angling down if you have to. Grab this S. And then kill this guy. Make sure you're not too close to the edge, because if you are, you'll just fall off. And also, if you were to do... Hold on. If he wants to close his dang mouth... Yeah, I believe if you jump off here, you can just... Even from a pretty far, you can die. It's just, be careful, whatever you do. Okay, so... Here's setup 1. Here's setup 2. And here's setup 3. Okay, so switch to S. Make sure you grab this guy. Make sure you're a little bit ahead of the screen, and then follow my movements. Okay, so that's how you do it. So let me back up and explain this in detail. Probably from the get-go, or maybe in like segments or whatever. But yeah, first thing here to do is switch to S and grab that guy, right? So you're gonna want to be a little bit ahead of the screen here, not by too much though. You're not like I'd say about here is good. You don't want to be fully back like this, otherwise you have a much higher chance to die from a lot of things. Like something like this is okay. So this is a good distance to be. So next, what you want to do is you want to shoot forward, and then when you're coming to the edge of this platform, what you want to do is you want to jump, angle down, and shoot 3 shots. Only 3. So that's hopefully going to kill that guy. And then now you have the extra 3 shots to save for killing this guy. Jump and shoot this guy. So that'll take care of that part. Next, what you want to do is you want to walk off this platform alternating constantly. And then once you're about here, you're gonna wanna jump and start shooting, just in case there's a guy that decides to be pretty mean. This guy will probably get killed by that. You might want to start shooting a little bit earlier, just in case. Then land, and then jump near the end of this. Make sure you do not contact this; it will instantly kill you. So you want to be close enough to the edge of the platform. Then continue shooting like this, and then on your way down, you'll hit this. You'll hit this laser. Totally fine. That's completely okay. If you're not too far back, then this guy won't hit you. If you are far back, this is the main reason why. You won't have enough time to jump off the platform before this guy gets you. So what I tend to do is I shoot down for a bit, for a few frames, just to get some rockets going on this side of the screen, because this guy comes out here, and then I jump, shoot down, and then after I've killed that guy, I tend to try and aim down again after a while, in case I kill another guy. And then that's it for that section, basically. You wanna, well, this guy's coming after you. You wanna jump when he's really close to you, and then kill him. Then you're good. So let's do it with a few different RNG seeds. 3 shots, kill that guy. Should jump around here, jump around there, aim down, just like that. That's how you want to do it every time. This works 90% of the time. There is like 1 or 2 RNG cases that this does not cover, but this is the best strategy that I've found. See, like that guy over there, he was gonna own me if I didn't do anything about that. If I didn't make this extra jump, this guy right here, if I didn't make this extra jump here, I might have died to him, because there's a guy that tends to curve up around here. So this is what this shot's for, mainly. You have the previous shots to take care of that other guy here. And then you land on the platform, and you continue moving forward. So let's do this a few times. I want to be a little further back, like that. That's good. A few shots. Jump. Jump again. Aim down. There's more switching. And do that. A little too close to the edge. There we go. That's probably good. It's getting a feel for it. Also, a guy can show up next to that item carrier. And be careful of that. You gotta jump over the item drop if he decides to drop something. So what's gonna happen is if you hit that guy. So if there's an enemy, okay, let's see. When does the screen scroll onto this thing? So yeah, you're shooting along here. If there's an enemy that spawns at any point during here, he's gonna hit the crush. The crush is gonna explode, and it's gonna destroy this. This is a flame. You do not want this. So it will usually tend to drop like right around here. Even though it looks like it should drop on the platform, it usually doesn't. So you're gonna want to jump over that. Just avoid it anyways. You'll have to do a little bit of a jump there, just to be just to be careful. You have to do a little bit of an earlier jump just to make sure you make it out okay. But that's another case that I should explain. So a little further, maybe it might be okay with this. See, like that guy would have killed me. Three shots. So you don't actually need to weapon swap. You don't need a weapon swap here. I just do because it helps me more. And sometimes I guess you can die from it, from not doing it, so. You'll practically always grab that if you shoot at the right time. Weapon swap a bit. There you go. See, like that guy. You have a little bit more of a window than it looks like to get past that one guy. Let me go back to him. Yeah. Getting past this guy is rather lenient, honestly, even though I was contacting him at that point. See, like, I'm moving fast enough that he's probably not going to hit me, so I can jump. He's not going to hit me. It's okay. So you're gonna want to jump very, very close to the edge of the platform, maybe a bit more lenient, jumping like, I don't know, half of what you would consider like if you consider this guy like a 2x2 tile, like jumping like half a block away when your foot's at the right edge of it. So like jumping around like here would be good probably, maybe a bit further. It's up to you. And then shoot down, do the diagonal shots, and it should work. This is just my strategy. I've found that it's incredibly consistent, but there are other strategies. So yeah, that guy, it sure looked like that one was gonna fall down, didn't it? Or it wasn't gonna fall down, right? And it did. So that's why you have to prepare for these things. See, like this thing looks like it's gonna drop on the platform, and it doesn't. So you just need to know when that's gonna happen. It usually, assuming you have the screen scrolled far enough, it's usually never gonna land on the platform. Or no, it's never going to land on the platform, period. And you just got to jump over it. So you do that jump to get over it. Then you do a subsequent jump, maybe shooting a bit here. Yeah, that guy's tedious. Okay, you do a subsequent jump like right around here. That's kind of late though. So it's up to you what you want to do. If you want to do an extra jump there or not. Just make sure you're not fully off the edge of the screen. See, like, that one really tried to screw me over, but it didn't because I have the strategy. See, that guy's important too. He will try and screw you over. That one, I feel like, is pretty important. Let me go back to him. Where was he? It was this guy, right? Yeah. So this guy's coming from here. This is why we do this jump here. This guy is the sole reason why we do this jump right here. Just to kill this guy. That's it. So this is rather far back. I'd rather not be this far back if possible. It is still possible to manage, but it's just really hard. You have to be a little more alert with it. This is all just muscle memory and remembering what movements to do, remembering your practice, and just doing it right. Doing it right the first time. I have lost a few runs to that top guy. Let me show what that looks like. Yeah, so this guy is kind of bad. If you were to jump pretty early, like, I think this would work as an example. If you were to jump like here, you're dead. You gotta be really close to the edge. So like around like here might work. Yep, we're good. Make it through. These strategies should apply to easy mode because there are less spawns in that. This is just a more aggressive easy mode in terms of spawns. What do you mean no time to kill it beforehand? Kill what beforehand? Hey, Vibrant. The enemy in the ceiling that one would jump into. I mean, you can kill it, but that detracts some. I just tend not to do it because I'm so used to my strategies that might work. You guys can test it out if you want to. That's totally okay. Obviously, I can test it out right now too. I'm not sure if it screws with my strategy at all. Like, cause I only shoot the stuff that's necessary. Yeah, okay. So you're detracting some time, some precious time that guy could be jumping at you to killing this thing. So just focus on jumping later or try to find a consistent strat to kill this guy. But it's really not an issue. I've only died to it a couple of times and I've had like 70 finish runs. It's only a real problem if you're not paying attention at all. Otherwise, you're fine. Yeah, this is a good spot. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, so there you go. There's that spot. Really easy, quick kill here is wait until the carrier goes past your body, spam shots, and then go angle. That's pretty fast. Passed. Bam. That one was rather slow. I think I was too early. Let's see. Hey, Punch, how you doing? That was okay. So that one was really good. That's kind of the thing you want to do with that strategy. This nuke doesn't matter. Do not grab this though. Just don't. Make sure you're ahead of the screen, of course. Next thing is. Thank you so much. It was a long, hard grind, but it was worth it. Yeah, so the thing you're going to want to do here is there's two ways of there's actually three ways of initially setting this up. So you have the high jump, you have the lower jump, and you have the book strat, like book it strat. So what you could do, first of all, yeah, I got it yesterday. What you could do is start here, and then when you're comfortable, jump onto this guy. But it doesn't always work. You have to be really careful with it, because if you fall down there, you're screwed. There's nothing to do. So this was my old strat before I switched to a newer one. So you go like that. It's a little bit dangerous. There's a better strat, so you can do a jump like this. Ideally, you'd actually stand on top of his head. Do a jump like this, get onto the ceiling, drop around like when your leg's about halfway around this block. So let's see. So like, where's my leg with this? Yeah, so my body is like halfway on this block right now, right? Or like on this little vine segment. So like when you're halfway on this, you're pretty much far enough forward. You won't fall off the edge. You can kill him fast. I mean, obviously I screwed that up. Or you can do this. This allows you to jump a little bit earlier, which I like. And be very, very, very careful of all of those projectiles. They're all random. You can't really counteract them too well. But the main thing about this LR jump, you do this by pressing L and R at the same time, by the way. Like left. Not left and right, but angle buttons. You wait until he's a little bit above the ground, and you press shoot, and you move left. So you can buffer L, R, and left. You just have to press shoot at the right time. That one didn't work because I wasn't far enough back. Bam. There you go. It also just looks super cool. Memorize the right timing. That was a pretty slow kill for whatever reason. So yeah, that's the strat I tend to use. It works for me. I like it. And now, if you die here, that's okay. But you could be losing up to a second or a second and a half. This happened in my 1306, and it was devastating. So you really want to focus on not dying here. If you die, you want to make sure it's as early as possible, even though you don't have control over it, obviously. Because you spawn at the very edge of the screen here. This is terrible, because the screen only, scrolls when you're this far. So once the screen stops shaking, that's when it starts scrolling. So that's like a solid second of time loss based on not being at the right of the screen, just waiting for it to scroll. So we go bam. I don't recommend standing too close, otherwise he'll jump up at you. Like this. I think this will do it. Yeah. He'll do that. Can't really get out. And then it's just the slow pattern again. So. Wow, look at that pattern. That was terrible. Oh. Holy crap. See, I move far enough out of the way, like over here. Go back to this. Because with the proper strat, you stand on this side and you wait for the screen to scroll, and then you can just jump up here almost immediately. Which is great. And we love that. Just try not to die super late or at all. Do anything you can for dodging. If you have to go all the way back here, it's worth it, because it'll still overall save time over dying. Just do whatever you can do to avoid those. It's important. How did I not mention this? Throughout the entire thing, how did I not mention this? I guess it comes in handy later. Yeah, so take a look at my hitbox right now. It is my shoulder versus standing, which is just a taller shoulder. So this comes into play in the final boss fight. I am pretty sure Drifter had covered this in his tutorial. Was it Drifter who made that? Okay. Punch, was it you or Drifter who made the any percent normal tutorial? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've checked. Or did Drifter make like the hard one or something? Ah, oh, god dang it! I've been saying that Drifter did this one. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Punch, Tropical Punch here did the any percent normal tutorial for this game. Please watch that before watching this, by the way. I shouldn't say that so late. Oh, come on. Feels bad. So yeah, the only real spots where it matters is in the final boss fight. You're at the spot here. Just scroll the screen as far as you can. Make sure you can grab onto the wall without wasting any time. Do your fast wall jumps. And then you got Ridley. Yay! It's annoying as balls. That's a good emote. That's nice. Okay, so yeah, I got my Ridley ready. Hold on. Here we are. Okay, so Ridley's cool. The punch already covers the typical strat, which I can't pull off anymore. I just can't. Yeah, so the old strat was to go down and do that type of thing. I found a strat that works better for me, and it only works because we abuse the way that wall climbing kind of works. So, when you're on a wall, your hitbox is kind of off the wall, right? So it's not flush with the wall. You're a little away from it. But if you were to let go, your hitbox is now here. So I'll show why this is important in 1 second. This is why this is important. So his tail reaches all the way over here, except for when you're not on the wall. It does not reach any past this. It immediately retracts. I'm not dead right now. So, the strat that I came up with was to abuse that. So instead, what I do is drop to the bottom, shoot, and then I'll let go. Let go for like a fraction of a second. You really don't have to let go for that long. You just have to wait for it to be away from the wall. It's all timing related. I just find it easier because it's much better for me to get the shot straight on. So it doesn't. I mean, with the 2-round, it doesn't always, or the 1-round, it doesn't always work, and that's just the fault of the game itself. It just works better for me. And to do 2 quick wall jumps. The quicker this guy is scrolled off screen, the better, by the way. So you want to kill him as low as possible. It doesn't waste any time to go down there. Unless you die, in which case that loses a lot of time. It's like I'm all the way down here. So over being at the top of the screen, that saves around like 20 to 30 frames, potentially. Just depending on how high he is. But you just want to be as close to the bottom as possible. You can obviously use just only jump to quick drop, and it just kind of works nicely, I guess. Okay, what's next? Let me do a few more Ridley kills. It's not a good idea to just kind of wing it and assume he's not going to hit you, by the way. It might be able to work, but it's probably really RNG heavy. Yeah, like, see, it always hits the wall before I kill him. So go low. That one might have worked, actually, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, that one worked, actually. Yeah, so he didn't reach there. It's still not safe. It doesn't change anything. You'll have to experiment with different heights. Obviously, you're not going to see the hitbox during the game, so you're just going to have to remember where it is. Unless you cheat and install like a hitbox viewer or something, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it tends to work if you leave the wall. Because you don't need to leave for that long. It's just like, it's this. That's it. That's all you leave for. Just a few frames. Because it contacts the wall for literally 1 frame. Now, if you're too late, that can happen. So you have to make sure that's not what you're doing. There we go. That's how you do it. Okay. You know what? I didn't put this down in my notes for the tutorial, but this is something I'm also going to cover as of now. Actually, hold on. Be real quick. Okay, save state. At the right spot. Okay, this is good. Explaining every orb and strat for each. No, only. You already explained the orbs. I'm not going to go over them. Never. Thinking dog. I thought that was like a Twitch modified emote. You know, like the sunglasses. You can modify a selected emote. But nope. So there's a little bit of a strat here to hopefully get a more consistent 4 round on this boss. Not the brain, but the pre-brain boss. So you take out both of these guys, and then you wanna clear this in 4 jumps if possible. So you wanna kill this thing in as little as 4 jumps. Which sometimes it's not doable, and sometimes you have to do 5. That one was 4. So that's good. That's what you want to aim for. 3 is possible, but there's like one RNGC that allows it. I've gotten it once and never again, not even on emulator. So the way to set this up versus doing the other strat where you just spam up here and kill this guy, hopefully you'd be able to hit more shots on this without having to worry about hitting this guy. Because if you go too early, you're just gonna hit this guy, and that's not good. Then you're screwed. So what Hanage does, and I'll detail it here, is wait a little bit for the screen to start shaking, and then you shoot 12 shots up. So that's 2 full cycles. So full cycle, and that always kills it. I'll watch out for this guy. So that was a 5. That's okay. It was a little late. Just going to do diagonal jump here. So unfortunately, this guy here tends to lose a lot of time. He loses like over a second per douche pattern he does. So 5 round is very common though. That's a good 4 round. If you see the right arm retract halfway, would you continue to shoot the brain vertically instead? What do you mean? What do you mean you do? If you're talking about going from straight below, that is possible, but it's a terrible idea. It's less consistent in what I've done, because this, you have to rely on it. You have to rely on them giving a good pattern. Well, you don't have enough time. Okay, I'll try it. I don't think it'll work, though. Zero health. See, that's still risky. Give it a minute. Just give it a minute, alright? Patient. See, the problem is you have such a tight window here. The only window you have is like this, like 6 pixel space. That's it. If you hit this, you need to readjust yourself, and that's not happening. I think left arm just because of habit from previous runners. See, like, it's not... It's possible, but... And sometimes it's just not gonna work as well anyways. See, okay, yeah, that's the problem with that. He can do that. Just, no, it's not viable. How are you going to predict that he doesn't do it again? You have to guess. You have to guess that he's not. You have to guess that he's just going to go halfway, and sometimes he doesn't. So, I would not recommend this at all. Yeah, but this is like, I don't know. It's closer to the end of the run. I'd rather not be, resetting from something stupid like this. It might be a time save. It might not. I tested at one point I tested how it would be if you went from the bottom only, and it turned out to be slower actually, like by a few frames. Could be dependent on RNG values, of course, but like, okay, if you were to do it from just like plain below, you're gonna get like screwed. So otherwise, you're waiting for something like that, and it's slower. It's not good. I don't know. Okay, so ducking in the center. Well, you're probably already jumping midair by the time that happens. Is the problem? Like, you can't do that. You just can't. I'd love to, but it's not possible. Like, what am I gonna do? That? No, not happening. It's not viable. It's just plain not. Okay, so let's see. The Death Warp dilemma in Stage 5. Punch, I made a new route for Stage 5 that increases the RNG from 25% to 5/8. So yes, I covered that for about half an hour. We now have a better route, basically. More consistent RNG wise at the cost of more execution and fast reactions. But it would end a lot less runs if you do it right. But I'd say 67% is a lot better than 25, personally. So brain cycles. These are kind of weird. I don't have concrete numbers on how long these are, but thanks to Mr. K, we've received some insight to this. So the brain cycles have a set time that they operate on. So let's say um, red cycle. So hold on, I want to see if I can do something cool. That explains it, because I just figured it out like a bit ago. I did some work on it. So let's say we got our red cycle here. Cool. So red cycle. Let me check my notes real quick. We don't have a good number as to how long these are. They can be any number that's greater or less than about like 32 for this. So the count for this one is 532. So the problem with this is that the RNG assigns a completely random value. It's like, okay, wait, would mod 4 work on this or no? No, it wouldn't. Yeah, so it takes this base number. So let's say the red orb is like 480 frames or something. So it takes this number, looks at the RNG, and then based on that RNG, it calculates a number from 0 to 63, and it adds that number to the frame cycle. So if it was 480 flat, let's say you got a 63. So you'd have a cycle that's 543 frames long. which is really long, or you could have a cycle that's 480 frames long. So it's anywhere in between, but you will know in between, or you will know how long the pattern is. It's just kind of obvious. This guy takes a while longer to. He goes further to the right. He goes further to the left if it's a longer pattern, and he stays like in the middle around here if it's a short pattern. The boulders on the bottom, which we're going to be tackling next before they tackle us, um, as fast as the or as soon as the boulders come out, that's when the cycle's determined. Like, if the boulders come out really fast, it's a fast cycle. If the boulders come out after like a second, then it's a really slow cycle. So we got red here. Thanks, Punch. Have a good one. All right, so yeah, we got this red orb. So also thanks to Mr. K, he's shown me a strat to make this more consistent. So what we don't do anymore is use a nuke like this to kill everything, because that's incredibly slow. Sure, you do a lot of damage, but yeah. So that was 3539. So that was 70 frames of lag that could have been negated, just done away with altogether. Actually, it was 80 frames. I guess 76 if you want to be specific. It could be more though. 3551. Yeah, that one was 90 frames. Yep. That was 90. Yeah, that was like 88 frames or something. So you're losing a second to a second and a half on this nuke. So how do you fix this? There's a new strat. So what we do is, as soon as the orb is hit, let me get it on here actually. So you move to the left here, and you start shooting at a diagonal. You move all the way over here, and then you keep shooting at a safe position. So make sure you're out of the way for this. Stand over here, because you can never get hit over here, no matter what the orbs decide to do. Jumping here is really risky. Just make sure you don't go too close. Okay. Also, I don't recommend shooting it when it's going counterclockwise. So when it's going this way, do not do that, because you actually have a lower chance to hit the orb that you want, based on how the hitboxes work in this game. It's just kind of wonky. So go for clockwise. Find a position that works well for you. Usually it's a diagonal type position, or you could be right under, depends on what you like. Or you could even jump. It's totally up to you. I'm guessing you're going to ask if he follows your pattern. No. He doesn't follow your pattern at all. He follows a set pattern. If I stay here, he's just going to... Okay, well, hold on. Yeah, he's going to the right, see? I thought you were gonna ask if he follows the if he follows your direction based on where you move. That's why. Also be careful with that. So stand over here, hopefully kill all the orbs, and then you're safe. Yay. Kill me, thank you. Okay. So you could do from below, but I don't really recommend it, so. So doing this strat, let's see how much damage you lose on the boss fight versus the other strat. So he's at 7903 health right now. Okay, so now we do the actually, hold on. I gotta do something different so I can get the same exact pattern and compare it correctly. I'm not sure if I have enough rewind time. I do. Nice. Awesome. Barely enough, actually. It's not enough. That's the ballsy strat that I used to go for, but RNG can just ruin you. Jumping there's kind of risky, but it does work sometimes. Okay, so that was like pretty much the longest possible pattern. Let's see. 77.99. Okay, so that's the nuke strat. Let's see how much health it has. 75.58. So you're losing about 200 damage, which it actually you're losing 200 damage, which is actually only about 100, which is like less than a third of a second. So not using the nuke, you're saving around 40 to 70 frames, maybe like somewhere around 40 to 75, depending on what RNG you get. But it is faster guaranteed. So the reason why I say it's actually 200, but it's the actual number is 200 damage, but it's really 100 because the damage you deal on the first phase and the last phase is not equal. So the later on you get in the fight, the more damage you deal in a way. So first phase, first phase you deal X amount of damage. The boss has 16,382 health. Let's say you deal 1,382 of that. So he's at 15,000, right? So then the game halves that, just chops it in half, and now you have 7,500. So you can already see how that's different. So let's say another phase, you deal 2,500 damage on phase 2. It's at 5,000 now. Then it halves it again. So now it's at 2,500, and you deal that 2,500 health, and it's gone. It's done. It's dead. So the damage you deal in the earlier rounds isn't as influential because it just has less of an effect. It has a quarter of the effect that the damage you deal in the third phase does, basically. If that makes sense at all. I hope I explained that right. But it's just like you're gonna want to go for red boulder. Don't worry as much about the damage you deal in don't worry as much about the damage you deal in round 1. As long as you deal like a pretty good amount, you should be okay. As long as you get boulders for the next 2 rounds. Otherwise, it's probably not going to be a 3 round, and you'll lose 7 seconds from not getting that 3 round. Just because of how long the boss takes to wind up again. Like, see how like I'll do this phase and show how dang long it takes. Okay, so let's see what frame. 48547. So go back to full speed. So getting the pattern you want can take a while too. And then you got to deal damage, so that's 48997 or so. So that's 440 frames lost. So that's over 6 seconds right there, including the damage that you have to deal. So you lose a minimum of 6 seconds by not doing a 3 round. Assuming you get pretty good damage otherwise. Okay, so that's the red phase covered. I'll do the pattern a few more times. I can't really explain how to get good, consistent hits on or get like shoot, what is it? Get consistent shots on the brain, like when it's doing the roulette cycle. I can't. there's no real consistent way to do that well. You just kind of do it. Okay, boulder time. So, first thing you're going to want to do is shoot up at this to deal a little bit of damage. You're going to want to crouch down in between these two. So you have a decent window, but if you were to stand, you would die. So, deal the damage, crouch down in between. So you do have a rather large window. So this would work. As long as you're somewhere in between, like here. Okay, hold on. As long as your hitbox is somewhere in between this range, you're good. So let's see. When I stand, what does it look like? So my body is about like the center of my body should be like a few pixels away. Like my arm should be like I don't know, like my gun should be pointing into the body, but that's it, I guess. So like that much is good. Then you mash to your heart's content. And you deal a crap ton of damage. You deal, on average, I think it's like 2,700 damage per cycle. I think the number that I got was like 2,781. That was like one sample, though. But in theory, you should deal the same amount of damage each time, I think. It's just because you're not worrying about the boss going in circles like you are with this one, where RNG is completely random. You just have to rely on luck. Hey, Tazzle, thank you. How are you? I saw you were running this game for some time. Congrats on your 1319. So yeah, don't do this. Okay, yeah, so stand close, gun inside, that's it. Just make sure to shoot this a little bit. Let's see how much damage you can actually get in. 7713. That's 150 damage by itself, just shooting upwards here. Right, yeah. Man, once a week. I've been going for this for forever now. When did you first start running this? It really is, yeah. Make sure you're constantly alternating throughout all this. Even if your hands cramp up, you gotta switch to a different grip. There's no way around it. Thursdays for about 3 hours. Gotcha. So right now I'm doing like index finger spam, which is my fastest kind of spam. It works well for me. So if I turn off the hitboxes, it's just like kind of get a Why did I open the Lua console again? I don't need to do that. Yeah, if I close Lua console, then like so like my gun's inside. Use that as an indicator. Never beat the game. You need to learn speedrun strats, and now you can't stop. Are you gonna push the game down further or no? Also, that was nice, but it won't kill the boss. So this won't kill it. I think you can. Ah, dang. I'm sure there's plenty of time save. It just may not look like it. I'd have to look at your splits to know, though. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the boulder cycle is around like 720 frames. So this is like 12 seconds, versus the other one's about 6 seconds. So it's literally like twice as long. But this is almost the only way you can get a 3 cycle. You can get a 3 cycle with red boulder only if you do nukes on 1 or 2 of the rounds. And those rounds would be to get a ton of extra damage in the red cycles. It's like I could try that, I guess. And that works, but the problem is it's way too slow. Okay, I was too fast. Too slow, actually. Bam. No! I swear to God, it speeds up. Go! No. It's literally speeding up at this point. So that's something else I should mention. There we go. Guns inside. We're good. This should be a 3-round. It's not, so it's not guaranteed. It's RNG dependent. This should be pretty close. Yes, it's literally one shot away. So there you go. It is possible, but it's not a good idea. Yeah. The final thing that I'm going to mention in this tutorial, at least, the final thing I had plans to is this. So, my old strat here was to stand about here and then let the game jump onto the helicopter and kind of let it land me in this spot. But I found out that loses 43 frames, and that's not acceptable, because when I end my timing is when the helicopter hits the ground, or when my arm is latched onto it and it hits the ground. So I decided that I would use Hanage's way instead, where I line my leg up with this pixel here, this little blackish brownish, like dark purple pixel here. Like you see the far end of my foot is vertically lined up with this. It's not pixel perfect. You just got to be like in the ballpark of it, you know. So like that's a little further. We'll see if this works. Yeah, it didn't change it at all. So let's try a little bit further back too. That's 1 pixel back. There we go. Yeah, see, that's fine. It works. Now this might be too far. Yeah, it was a little too far. That would lose a few frames, especially going too forward would lose a lot. So there you go. I guess it's rather tight of a window, but it could be worse. See, I end my timing when the helicopter completely hits the ground and I'm latched onto it. Because the important thing is that this is an automatic jump. I am not pressing anything right now other than frame advance, and it jumps me onto here. So it's just like this jump is manual, but the other jumps aren't. So because like if you're in a bad spot, like I gotta wait forever. Or like if you're not close enough, it'll do that. If you're not facing the right way, it'll literally do that, which is really, really bad. It's even slower than my method, so yeah, there you go. And that's pretty much it. There's my Contra 3 eccentrics tutorial. It was a long one. Way longer than I expected. Contact me on Discord, of course, if you need any information about this game at this address. Or on Twitch or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Just anything works, but if you need help, I'd be glad to do something for you. So, thank you for watching. Okay, yeah.